issues to look at this morning, looking at the matter coming out of Rivers State.
That's right.
The impeachment notice has been served the governor, or has been put in place. And we're still going to delve into that matter to understand what is going on. Accusations here and there and counter accusations. We want to look into it. And then we'll also look at the matter of our correctional centers. What are we doing? What can be done to improve these centers? And then we also saw that the CNG, the Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, has been launched. And that will come as good news to a majority of Nigerians because the presidency had said that November the 1st was when it would take off. And that's where we'll begin this morning. Last week, President Tinubu handed over converted buses to the State House, and just yesterday, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, unveiled 2 of the compressed natural gas buses for staff of the State House. Now, this gesture signifies the President's plan to revolutionize the transportation landscape and ease the impact of petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians, as earlier promised. I believe that, recall that the NLC actually met with the federal government yesterday. So I believe that saying this, because this was part of their agreement in the 15 agendas that they put together that was signed as the Memorandum of Understanding signed with government. This was part of it. And seeing that government has, launched this initiative, perhaps would tamper some of the tensions that we have been seeing, because they were talking tough leading up to that meeting yesterday that they didn't want to see the Minister of Labour in that meeting. But they had that meeting with the government, and now we have seen that government has launched this initiative. It will go a long way. I recall that a center for the conversion of vehicles to the use of gas was also launched in Lagos State, somewhere in Ekpe, I think.
Also in Ogun State.
And in Ogun State.
Yeah.
So we are beginning to see gradual adoption of this compressed natural gas.
Yes, it's a very good one, even though some people are still trying to, understand the concept of the compressed natural gas. Like, okay, what we've always known is petrol. And sometimes I always ask myself, why don't we even make water? Is it not possible for
some days
for
cars drive on water? Do you remember that ad? There was an ad like
it sounds like a mirage, but it's possible.
It's
all about how to make all of those mechanisms work for the the benefit of all. But those who make money will make money, just like pharmaceuticals.
Of course,
they know the simple ways of giving you medications, but then they will give you what is more expensive and all of that. So it's very, very much important that, these CNG buses that have been launched, it is not enough for us to launch them. It's one thing for us to launch them, is another thing for us to ensure that this circulates across the country, and then having depots, having terminals where you can refuel. And it's very expensive, odorless, environmental friendly, because because of the cleaner burning fuel compared to that of gasoline, which we've always known, or that of diesel. It's also very much cost saving. The CNG is typically cheaper than the gasoline, diesel on a per gallon equivalent basis. So energy security too, as part of it, is a domestically available resource in many countries, such as the US, where they even pioneered it. So it's good that this is coming to Nigeria. And one of the benefits is the fact that, when they convert it, you have your engine running on the existing fuel, that's the petrol, and then it can also work on the CNG simultaneously. So, when you run on your gen or your diesel, it makes a lot of noise, but this is a bit, it doesn't make much noise. So you can also travel far distance with it. I saw, we already had someone in the studio, back in the day where we talked about the CNG, conversion. The person said he had already done his own conversion, and then you can also refill your cylinder for as low as 3,000 naira. At that time, I don't know how much it's going to be now, but the fact that it's cost effective compared to the traditional gas that we use, I feel it's a good way to go for all Nigerians.
Absolutely. I recall that some days ago, the Special Assistant to the President on Special Duties and Domestic Affairs, talking about Toyin Subai, was talking about the rollout of the compressed natural gas buses. And he was speaking to the cost, and he said that the price it would reduce to about 230 naira per kg. That's interesting because it will cut the costs to about 2/3. How much are we buying petrol now as it is? So I believe that this is going to encourage Nigerians to look in the direction of the conversion of their vehicles to this, as government is looking at opening more centers. Recall that the government plans about 11,500 gas-powered buses across the country, and is to begin the first week of November. And so it's like saying government is walking the talk with the launch of these buses. I can only hope that Nigerians begin to key into it. There's going to be a test run of some of these buses. I recall that when that agreement was signed with NLC, it was going to be test run in a school to see how it works. Then it will be launched across the country. And again, it's interesting to see that states are also beginning to tap into this initiative. You mentioned Ogun State that has launched, and we are believing that other states will begin to look at creating these centers to ease the burden on the federal government, because we have seen some other states also look at cushioning the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy by creating palliatives, increasing salaries. We saw some releasing buses, reducing the number of days of work. And so this is another way to go, launching centers where people can easily convert their vehicles. In fact, a lot of persons have said, let's begin to look at local content, empower persons who can, come up with this conversion kits to make it easier for Nigerians and cheaper as against we importing. We have these people that government can work with. So we are looking forward to, aside this being launched now, how we can deepen the use of this converted buses and how we can make it easier for people to access across the country. And then I believe that over time we'll see a crash in the cost of fuel in the coming days. Yeah,
because the less we consume it, the more available it is. And then if you have so much of it in supply, they will want to push it out, and that means that the price would definitely crash. The global impact of it on, and the CNG can also be gotten locally. You don't have to. It reduces the pressure on foreign oil. You don't have to be
foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange, and also going abroad to buy petrol, just like we do export the crude oil, and then you pay foreign exchange to buy the fuel.